So since it's been a minute since I've done a video on the 14, thought I'd do a little tire update since it's now thoroughly into winter. I swapped out the Duratrax that I had on the Laramie rims I threw on this thing and put the factory rims that this truck originally came with back on with some Cooper Discover M&S with snow groove technology. Ooh la la. They are studded. Ta-da. Have probably about 2,000 miles on them or so. Go to the back since those wear down quicker. And we still have right around, if we can focus on that, right around 30 seconds worth of tire tread. I came with about 17, so oh well. The Duratrax, I honestly, and I know this isn't going to be a popular opinion, I honestly wasn't really all that impressed with them. They didn't really seem to grip nearly as well as these. Mind you, these are studded, so they have that advantage. In the wintertime, as these Coopers, they wore down fast, they were loud. I mean, they look good. In mud, they were meh. Road, rain, I mean, it was just sort of average. I wasn't really blown away by what a lot of people seem to say about them. And then wintertime, which they're supposed to be, you know, that's their forte. Once again, this didn't really feel like they did as well as these, especially, I mean, you can see how much siping these tires have. I mean, every single one of these tread blocks is thoroughly siped, and then you add studs on top. The Duratrax, I'd probably put at least 20,000, if not more, onto them before I took them off. And they have, I think I just measured them. Two of them had 5 seconds and two of them had 9. So they're wearing down quite quickly. Obviously the 5 would be in the back because the last couple months that I did, last couple months that I did have them on the truck, I did quite a bit of heavy towing. So obviously you can see where that wear came from. When I was putting the Duratrax on the Laramie rims, I was also already sort of thinking about getting dedicated snow tires for this second set, because I really like to have them on 2 separate sets and not have to try to swap between. I asked the tire place if what they were asking for TPMS sensors, tire pressure monitoring, and they basically quoted me about $60+ plus tax, of course, per sensor, to which I all but laughed in their face and said, "What? Excuse me?" Which seems a little ridiculous, but it seems like a lot of people pay that much. And I'll provide a link in the description to the part number which I used. I have tire pressure monitor sensors in these rims that I got for Rock Auto for all 4, shipped to my door, under $45 for all 4 with shipping. And shipping was like $7. So, I mean, we're talking under $40 for all 4 sensors. They wanted 60+ each. So, you do the math. No brainer for me. And I've seen a lot of guys sort of bitch and moan about, oh, good, go to the dealer and pay $100-something thousand for sensors. Well, I don't know. It seems like from what I've read on the forums that they're a little fluky, and some years only work with certain sensors and vice versa and whatnot. This is a 2014 2500. I know the 3500s have the TPMS, but they don't display it, or certain years didn't display it. It all seems a bit fluky. But this 2500, these particular sensors, which I'll provide the part number in the description, do work. Have had 0 problems with them. Put the tires, because I had the tires put on the rims and then thrown in the bed, and then I put them on here at home. Went for a drive for about 2 miles, picked right up, all the pressures reading accurately. Of course, I had to bump it up in order to make the system happy, because I still haven't gotten around the 60, 80 PSI that the truck wants, although I can get it down to mid-50s, although I do like to run on about 60 in the front, and I've got it down to about 70 for the rear without the lights tripping out. Of course, in the cold temperatures that we had 2 weeks ago when it was like negative 1,000 out, the front tires went down to in the 40 psi range, like 45 or something, just because it was like negative 10. And of course, with that pressure dropping as far as it did, then that tripped the sensor, and then it wanted me to pump it all the way back up to 60, but since warmed up to in the 40s, so it's done it all on its own. So yeehaw, didn't have to bust out the air compressor. But at any rate, and also I do have these tires on my red 01 24 valve, so still diesel, so still heavyweight in the front end, still do heavy hauling in the back. And I've had these particular Cooper tires, which is why I got this set for this truck. I've had those for 3 winters, and I just measured those with the tread depth indicator thing there, and it's about right around 9 to 10 30 seconds of tread. So, I mean, this is a heavier truck regardless, just because it's more body, more mass, bigger frame, bigger axle, bigger everything. So obviously it will wear a little bit quicker, and I do haul heavier with it with using that trailer. But at any rate, I'm really happy with these. I'd recommend them. Clearly, I'm sure plenty of other people are going to be happier with Duratrax or happy with Duratrax, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, choose whatever tire you really want to ride on your truck. I mean, I'm not going to tell you either which way, but I'm just going to say that I wasn't really all that amazed with how the Duratrax performed, and I'm liking these a lot better. Of course, you are still fighting the traction control, so you can turn it off in 2-wheel drive, but it's not actually off, so you still have to hit it in 4-wheel for the most part for driving through deep snow and on some icy spaces, because it's going to threaten to drive. The torque converter starts spinning the rear tires, and there's nothing you can do. Joys of being the manual transmission in the 2001, so you can just ease that clutch out. At any rate, quick little update. And for those of you wondering, I will do a thorough review, as I am over 51,000 miles in this truck now. And just as a quick answer, 0 problems. I mean, I've had the power steering line leaked within the first like 400 miles when I got this thing almost over 4 years ago now. And other than recalls, nothing. And and filling up the coolant once. That hasn't happened again at all. Of course, some wear items, and of course filters and fluids and whatnot, but maintenance stuff. Otherwise, as far as actual problems, and hopefully I'm not jinxing myself by saying that, but we shall see. All right, thanks for watching.